Expired, and I call the member for Herbert.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Can I just start to speak about what a Green Paper is? A Green Paper is a list of options. When it came to the north of Australia, one of the options was to dam every river. The other option at the other end of the scheme was to not dam anything. So the answer is going to lie somewhere in the middle. So when it comes to education, when it comes to health, when we're looking at the Federation White Paper, one option is we move out of it completely. We cede the area completely. The other option is that we take it over. The other end of the scale is that we take it over. In this country here, and I'll tell you, this is the thing that gets me as I move around this country, is that I have a lot of people come up to me and say, I don't understand why we have 8 education ministers, why we have eight transport ministers, 8 health ministers, 8 ministers for this, 8 ministers for that. Why don't we? Why don't we centralise these things? And I said, well, first and foremost, the federal government doesn't run programs. The federal government doesn't run these things really well. And I think we've shown that, by the way, pink bats, school halls, those sorts of things. Federal governments are good at handling the money and handing it to the states. The states are good on the ground with this. This is what they're there for, is their implementation. So when it comes to these things, so on one option is that we pull out of the funding, the health system and education system entirely. The other option is what Kevin Rudd actually took to the 2007 election. I think he took that straight to the 2007 election. He said, we owe it to the Australian people, we have a compact with the Australian people, that if the health system doesn't work, we'll take it over. We'll take it over. So that's at one end of the system. And what did he do? What did he do? He squibbed it. He squibbed it, and we still end up with a mishmash of systems here. We still end up with that 50-50, 60-40, where we've got enough room to blame absolutely everyone and not blame anyone. We all walk away from it. This is what happens when you do these things. So a Green Paper is about a list of options. Secondly, can I just talk about the cuts, Deputy Speaker? To cut something, there must be something there to cut. There must be something there to cut. What we've seen here is, look, I'll make the prediction. I'll clear it all up now. I will commit this government. In the financial year 2035-36 to deliver $27 trillion in today's money, that financial year. There we go. It's all sorted. It's all sorted. Is that believable? I don't think so. So when these guys came out and did Gonski, because I tell you, these guys wear Gonski like a badge of honour, but what they delivered was nothing like Gonski. Nothing like Gonski. What they did was they loaded out the expenditure way up past the forward estimates, way past the forward estimates in years 5 and 6. What they did in the front, same as the NDIS, same as health. What they did is they pushed it all out the back there where they didn't have to control. All that money that was pushed out there. So when we came to the election, I was there. When we came to the 2013 election, so we are lockstep with these people up until the end of the forward estimates. Now, of course, we broke our word straight away because the Labor Party had pulled $1.2 billion out of the PFO. So Christopher Pyne had to break his word, and we're no longer in lockstep with the Labor Party. We had to find $1.2 billion to put back into the health and put back into the education system. In Queensland, $795 million extra for the state of Queensland that the previous Labor government had pulled from the education system. You can only commit to the forward estimates. You can have aspirational things out there, but Labor had no plan to fund this stuff way up beyond the forward estimates. They had no plan, they had no money. You can't cut what's not there. You can get your scissors and you can go like that, but you can't cut air. And that's what these guys are trying to do. It just doesn't make sense. You have to have the funding. When it comes to the shrill attack that we're seeing here, it really does say a lot to me about where we are as a parliament, and it really does say a lot to me about where we are as a nation. That when someone comes up with a list of options, that is suddenly seized upon. And I know that I know that Labor is looking for a distraction for tonight, and I know that Labor is looking to try and deflect away from what is going to be on television tonight, and all that sort of stuff there. And I know you're not going real well. And look, it's okay for the member for Gellibrand Hotham. I've been over that side of the parliament. You know, it's so easy in opposition. It's so easy in opposition to just sit there and say, just vote us in and we'll fix it all. Once you've been in government, ask the member for Swan. Once you've been in government, it's not easy. It's not easy to come up with these things, to come up with options. And sometimes you can't deliver. You can't deliver what you say you can. Well, most of the times the member for Swan didn't deliver what he said he could, because
think you mean
know, if we're going to have
Lily.
all that stuff here, we would have been in surplus.
I think the